The police and private search and recovery teams are still combing the Kliprivier in Ladysmith for an unconfirmed number of flood victims. The Christmas Eve flooding was a result of heavy rainfall that caused the Bowsprit and Kliprivier to burst their banks, submerging homes and causing infrastructure damage. Several search and recovery teams have been combing the Kliprivier banks since Monday. To date, 21 bodies have been recovered. For an update following the Christmas Eve floods, we're now joined by Siboniso Mngadi, who speaks for the KwaZulu-Natal Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Siboniso, good to speak to you at this point. Can you provide an update on the current situation in Ladysmith regarding the floods, particularly with regard to the ongoing search and rescue operations?
Yeah, definitely. Today was the 5th day of the search and rescue after that devastating flood hits the town of Ladysmith and other surrounding areas in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. As we stand now, the number of fatalities that have been confirmed by the South African Police Services in the area of Ladysmith stand at 22, while there's still other 6 people that are still missing. You will note that our numbers keep on fluctuating, particularly the number of the missing people, because some of the families are still coming forward to report that they have not seen their loved ones ever since the last weekend. But we also want to praise the team of dedicated search and rescue personnel that have been on the ground working throughout the past 5 days. I must also note that as we speak today, the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, and the Honorable Premier, Nomusa Tubenube, today visited the families of the victims to pay their respect on behalf of the provincial government and also offer the support that they currently need as the families do prepare for the burial of their loved one that have unfortunately passed away due to this weather inclement.
So let's talk about the support that the COPTA has been able to give these families during this very, very difficult period.
Yeah, well, as per the normal procedure, we do offer the disaster relief in the form of shelter where the household have been vandalized. But in this case, we must also note that most of these fatalities occurred on the road. So there is no structures that have been damaged household. There's only one structure that was nearby the caravan park that was completely washed away, and 3 family members unfortunately passed on. However, we do offer the support in terms of assisting the family in preparation of the funeral arrangement, in terms of speeding up the postmortems. The Premier also today did assure the families that the provincial government will support in all aspects. We also attended other families that lost, like 7 family members, the Msimamo family in the area of Rosbom, who are already preparing for the funeral after all their family members were discovered by our search and rescue during the week.
So let's talk a little bit about the search and rescue effort that's going on. I mean, this is day 5, as you mentioned earlier. I can imagine that process must be relatively difficult.
Well, yeah, it was difficult, particularly during the early days of the week, because the water level on that particular stream was very high. However, the team was intensified, and then because we brought other members from from other stations within the province, and then we also got the support from the Gauteng government. The use of the helicopter, it did made a huge impact in terms of the number of discoveries that were made. We also got the support from private organizations such as IPSS, Medical Rescue, SA Red Cross, Al-Madad Foundation. There's quite a number of teams that have come forward and then to bolster the teams on the ground to ensure that we discover all these people that have been missing.
Siboniso, earlier we spoke to the South African Weather Services, and they've predicted that there is going to be more rain in various parts of the province, including KZN, where you are. Now, speak to us about the precautions that you are putting in place and what advice does the department have for the public to ensure their safety during this period?
Yes, indeed. We did also receive the warning. It's alleged level 2 of the disruptive rains that are predicted on the New Year's Eve. The rain are expected to start from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until midnight on Sunday. So we do alert all our residents. I think these rains are likely to affect 5 of our districts within the province. So we do urge people maybe to exercise extreme caution during this period. We understand that it's a New Year's Eve. People will be visiting various places, and then there are also events that are set up in different towns. But we do also urge them maybe to be very cautious during this period. They mustn't attempt to drive when it's raining. And then those that would be, particularly in rural areas, they must not attempt to cross the road, because that situation could also lead us to another devastation that we are not prepared to deal with as a province. So we urge everyone that will be enjoying the New Year's Eve to exercise to be vigilant. If possible, we do encourage people to stay at home, whatever celebration that you're doing, to be at home or in a very safe place, as it will be raining in most parts of our province.
Do you at this point have an indication of the cost of the amount of damage that the province has suffered as a result of these floods?
Well, I must indicate that the assessment in terms of the public infrastructure, such as road, if you have seen the images from the Ladysmith town, the bridge and the roads there the road was severely damaged. So it meaning that that will need an assessment and an estimation on how much it will cost. Maybe to rebuild those roads. But we must also indicate that throughout the summer season, since it started in October, there are some people that have also got their houses damaged. You'll recall that a week before Christmas Day, the area of Stembile Township, that is in Glencoe, near Dundee, people houses were flooded there, and then there were so many damages that we assessed there. So if we have not yet put together a consolidated figure, but the assessment is still continuing on the ground, maybe to establish how much this recovery will cost the provincial government.
And finally, before we let you go, let's talk about the lessons that have been learnt from this disaster. Obviously, what's been happening, particularly in KZN over the last couple of years, as a result of global warming, these floods that were unforeseen before seem to have a regular presence on the calendar when it rains. What are some of the lessons that we're learning, and how prepared are we for future potential disasters?
Yeah, well, we have improved in quite a number of aspects, because you will recall that at the beginning of the summer season we did launch a summer awareness campaign. The intention was to alert our people of the dangers that are posed by the rain, the lightning and stuff. But also on the 15th of December, just before we kicked off the festive season, we did have a multi-agency launch where we worked together with all the social partners that we work with on the disaster response. This was to also equip our people and give some tips on how they should prepare for the summer season. But what we also did this year was to procure the disaster relief, like the mattresses, blanket, and plastic sheetings, and box B, which contains essentials that one need on a daily basis. Then we distributed them to all district municipalities within the province, like 10 of them, including eThekwini Metro. That to ensure that whenever there are disasters, we are able to reach people as soon as they need those disaster relief. But most importantly is to warn people to move to safer places whenever there is rain. We understand that it is not always possible maybe to move houses, but our priority is to save a human life. So whenever we identify a place as a high risk, and then when there's rain, we do urge our people maybe to leave your home and move to a safer place. Then we can return later on once the rain has subsided. But we also understand that it is not always easy maybe to relocate people permanently, because some people have built houses and they do feel comfortable in their homes. So when the moment you raise the issue of relocating them, it becomes an issue. It's an issue that require extensive consultation and also offer a better alternative. But one of the things that we have also discovered is that when people invade land or they build illegally, they do not take into consideration the issues such as the geographical area, the water flow. So it also gives us a challenge during this period, because they build in places that are not suitable for household. So it also puts them in the high risk of flooding during these days.
Siboniso, I appreciate your time. That was KwaZulu-Natal Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs spokesperson Siboniso Mngadi.